Now, it seems as more and more time goes on, we're starting to get the big picture of what has been happening. And as you can see, the market, well, it's not heading towards 15,000, 14,000, 12,000 points. Now, this doesn't mean that it might not, but we have to remember that Trump and the Patriots, they have the magic wand. They understand that most of the pensions in this country are linked to the market because the interest rates were so low, they couldn't get an 8% return, so they had to look to the markets. Trump understands that if the market falls, everything falls apart. Even though that this is not a gauge of the economy, he understands that the pensions are linked to this. He also understands that the central bank, the mainstream media, over the many, many years, they've been telling us to look at the market and look away from the real economy. Trump has been using this against them. He understands that he has to play within the central bank illusion. It's a manipulated, illusionary economy. He understands this. He gets it. While he's keeping everyone busy with the stock market and all the manipulated numbers, he is doing something that no one thought was possible. He's building a people's economy. He has now set the stage. He knew the entire playbook. He understood what was about to happen. He knew the bubble needed to be deflated. He also knew he needed to show the world why the globalist system does not work. And already he has what he wants. Think about before the event where he was placing tariffs on China. There's still tariffs. And he was saying, listen, we need to bring manufacturers back. Everyone was like, no, this is impossible. We need to change the supply chains. Why? They're perfect the way they are. Why do we have to renegotiate trade deals? Why do we need borders? Why do we need any of this? Trump has now shown everyone why the U.S. cannot be dependent on any country. Why the supply chains have to change. Actually, he set the stage for the economy to take off. This was brilliant. Now, if we look at the mainstream media, we look at the deep state, the central bankers, we know with this event, their entire plan was to bring down the system, right? And we're getting word that certain individuals, and we know there were certain politicians that knew about the coronavirus, and they decided to sell their stocks before anything happened. Now, a lot of the financial pundits are saying this is kind of strange. With this type of an event, we shouldn't see the market take a dive like this. Why is it plummeting the way it is? Well, because the central bankers, the mainstream media, and the rest, they needed to bring down the economy. How do you do this? Well, you get all those individuals that have millions and millions of shares of stock, and you have them sell it at the high. And once people catch on that they're selling it, other people go in and they say, you know something, we should get out. And we're getting word that Jeff Bezos, Lawrence Fink of BlackRock, we have Lance Ugla, and many others, a lot of millionaires, a lot of people that own businesses, they were selling their stocks at the start of February. They knew that this was going to hit. They were told to sell their stock. When you have the top executives in the United States sell a total of about $9.2 billion worth of stock between the start of February and the end of last week, what happens to the market? It implodes. Now, did Trump and the Patriots, did they know this? Of course they did. Trump allowed all of this to happen because he needed to deflate the bubble. He also needed to show everyone that the economy, which is based on the globalist model, with these supply chains, it needed to change. But while all this was happening, where the central bank, the mainstream media thought they were bringing down the economy, actually, Trump and the Patriots had a completely different plan. We'll be talking about that in a second. But we can see the mainstream media, they're trying to keep the economy locked down right now. They don't want it to open up. Actually, coming out of the mainstream media, we have Yahoo News. They tweeted out the following. While coronavirus reigns, Trump can't jumpstart the economy by himself. There are other articles out there with the mainstream media saying that there's no way that this economy is going to be able to survive of what just happened here. Now, think about what they are doing. Think about the stocks that are being sold, and think about the Patriots. They knew all of this was going on. And think about what Trump has been doing. A crisis, an event, allows him to do things that you normally can't do. He's using the central bank deep state mainstream media playbook to his advantage. Because he knew that this was coming. He knew he was going to have to set things up for after the event. Now remember, the Fed, the mainstream media, financial pundits, they're all out there saying, listen, we are not going to see the rates come down in an election year. It just doesn't happen. The Fed came out and said they are frozen. What did Trump do? What happened during an election year? The rates weren't just brought down. Oh no. They were brought down multiple times. Between 0 and 25 basis points. What else was Trump able to do? Something that the Fed, the bad guys in the Fed, the mainstream media, and everyone else said, no, this is not going to happen. We don't need stimulus. What do we have right now? We have stimulus. Now remember, this is not for the stock market. What Trump did right now, and we've talked about this before, this is a drug to the economy. Before I get to that, what else did he have the Fed do? The Fed is absorbing all the crap. All the toxic crap. Now remember, this is not to drive the market up. Trump did this and set the stage for after the crisis. Nobody realizes this. But he did this on purpose. And it's a brilliant, brilliant move. Now, St. Louis Fed James Bullard, he said these second quarter numbers, they're going to be terrible. Yes, they are. We all understand that. The economy shut down. The market came down. People aren't working. We have the politicians trying to create a stimulus bill, which should be about, 5-10 pages? We'll get into that a little bit later in the next report. But we can see that the second quarter is not going to be good. The question is, what comes after that? Trump, he is counting on all of this. He set the entire economic system up, not to crash, but to help him. And it was a brilliant move. Like we said, the Fed lowered the rate between 0 and 25 basis points. They are pushing stimulus like we've never seen before. They are now taking on all the toxic crap, buying bonds, you name it. They're putting it on their balance sheet. Fed is taking it all on. They're getting heavier and heavier. So the economy is going to struggle in the second quarter. Numbers aren't going to look good. The mainstream media, financial pundits are going to be out there saying the economy is doomed. It can't survive this. It won't happen. The third quarter is going to look awful also. What do you think is going to happen? Why do you think Trump allowed all of this to happen? He deflated the bubble. He set up the Fed. He got what he wanted. I'm sure he's going to ask for more. But he did this on purpose because he knew that this was going to take effect after the event. Now, since the Fed lowered the rates, this will open up the real estate market like we've never seen before. Think about the interest rates. How many more buyers are brought into the market? Now, think about where we are headed. We are headed into the spring and summer, the best time for real estate. You lower the rates down to 0 to 25 basis points, you're going to have tons of buyers. And I know the realtors right now are complaining, but they're going to see something like they've never seen it before in the real estate market. We're going to see buyers coming out saying, now I'm in the market. This is incredible. What about the automobile industry? Getting free money to purchase a car. No interest attached probably for most people. Think about student loans. Think about the Fed loaning currency to the government at zero. And if he brings it down below zero, it's even better. Think about the cheaper fuel prices, more money in the people's pocket. Businesses can now borrow at nearly zero to expand their businesses. Think about what he's done here. The second quarter is going to look not so hot, but the third quarter is going to look amazing. This is what he was planning on. The market is going to go up throughout this entire time. He has set the stage. Actually, the Fed right now has opened it up so credit can flow. This was all done on purpose. Was it to help the Fed? Was it to help the central bank? No. It's helping Trump because he understands that we're in an election year. He's coming up for an election. What's in the third quarter? It's the election. How is everything going to look? It's going to look incredible. Everyone's going to see Trump. They're going to look at what he has done. He has taken an economy that imploded, an economy that didn't do well in the second quarter, and he brought it out of a recession. He brought it back, which also detaches him from Obama's economy. This was all done on purpose. Trump and the Patriots, they use this crisis to accelerate the transition. Think about the trade deals, the supply chains, the U.S. politicians now. Think about businesses. They had to be shown that the supply chains, being dependent on other countries, it's a big mistake. This is the only way they can get Congress, businesses to make changes. If you just tell them this, nothing happens. You had to show them this is exactly what he did. And he's out there calling for Republicans and Democrats to unite behind his American independence agenda to defeat what is happening right now and never let it happen again. He said we should never be dependent on any other country. And we need to bring back our manufacturing. We need to rework trade deals. We need to rework the energy sector. We need to do all of this. Take a listen to what he said.
We should never be reliant on a foreign country for the means of our own survival. I think we've learned a lot. This crisis has underscored just how critical it is to have strong borders and a robust manufacturing sector. For 3 years, we've embarked on a great national project to secure our immigration system and bring back our manufacturing jobs. We brought back many jobs, record numbers of jobs.
Everything they tried to do, it's about to boomerang on them. He set the stage, he set them up, and he's moving and pushing this transition at lightning speed like we've never seen before. And he's going to do this in a short period of time. This allowed him to do things that he normally wouldn't be able to do. It would take him a very long time to do it. Think about the central bank, the deep state, the mainstream media, how long it took them to remove manufacturing from the U.S., to set up the globalist supply chains. He's going to reverse this in a split second. Patriots, they're in full control. And this economy, it's ready to be transitioned into the people's economy. Remember, we're in a central bank illusion. Trump is about to expose all of that. He's been exposing it, but the good part is coming up. Or I should say, like Trump says,